draw for the Dudley Eve competition. You will recall that the 2020-2021 season was abandoned, which created a unique scenario for us in that we had no team qualified for this year's Dudley Eve competition. So what the competitions committee has done, we made a recommendation to the executive, which has been accepted. We're going to actually create a more, I guess you would say, pre-season type tournament. This is something that the competitions committee has discussed over the last few seasons, and that having the top 6 teams play in a pre-season tournament kind of creates somewhat of a disadvantage for the other 4 teams that don't get that competitive, those competitive games at the beginning of the season. So for this season, we are going to invite all 11 premier teams into the Dudley Eve competition. We are creating 4 teams of 3, which actually creates 12 spaces. And so we've also invited one of the top 2 first division teams. And so we looked at last year's tables once the season was abandoned, and the 2 teams that were at the top of the first division team, we have invited to play in a 1-match playoff match, which will be competed on the September 5th, potentially in front of the Charity Cup match. The winner of that match, which will be Hamilton Parish and Youngman Social Club, will compete in this year's Dudley Eve tournament with the 11 premier teams. So what we're going to do today is have a draw, which will be 4 groups of 3, and we have pooled the teams, and that the teams that were in the top 4 places when the league was abandoned last year will be in pool 1. The next 4 teams will be in pool 2. The next 3 teams, plus the runner of Hamilton Parish and Youngman Social Club, will be in pool 3. And then we will release the schedule once it is approved by the ministry to the clubs to determine what match dates they will be playing. The first match date we will anticipate to be on September the 6th, but that is depending on our conversations with the minister. With that, we will commence the draw. The top 4 teams at the time the league was abandoned were Robin Hood, Devonshire, PHC, and Dendytown. The next 4 were Somerset Cricket Club, North Village, Devonshire Colts, and Southampton Rangers. The next 3 were St. George's, Crossroads, and Somerset Bridge. And obviously we will have the winner of the Hamilton Parish versus Youngman Social Club game. So we will draw all 4 teams from the first pool. So Group A, Western Stars, Dendytown. Devonshire, Group B. Robin Hood, Group C. PHC, Group D. The second pool, Somerset Cricket Club, Devonshire Colts, North Village, Southampton Rangers, winner of Hamilton Parish, Youngman Social Club, St. George's Cricket Club, Crossroads. Obviously, this is the one that's going to be stuck. Somerset Bridge. So to wrap it up, Group A will consist of Dudley Town, Somerset Cricket Club, and the winner of Hamilton Parish and Young Man Social Club. Group B will be Devonshire Act, Devonshire Colts, and St. George's. Group C will be Robin Hood, North Village, and Crossroads. And Group D will be PHC, Southampton Rangers, and Somerset Bridge Recreation Club. For the quarterfinal one, we will have winner of Group A play second place of Group B, winner of Group B versus second place of Group C, winner of Group C versus second place of Group D, and winner of Group D versus second place of Group A. And then the semifinals, we will have the winner of the first match, first quarterfinal, versus the winner of the third quarterfinal, and then the winner of the second quarterfinal versus the winner of the fourth quarterfinal. Thank you. Any questions?
Just one question. You know, what's the general response from the clubs in this new historic format?
So it's been a busy summer. I can't believe it's August already. I think we've had some personal conversations with a few club presidents who have embraced it. We haven't had a collective discussion this yet. I suspect that the clubs will embrace it because it involves each entity. You know, players and officials and administrators are hungry for football. We haven't had a domestic match since mid-December. So hopefully, you know, the stars will align. We will be able to kick off the football season and embrace football and the spirit of football, which is obviously the most popular sport on the island.
What was the response from Social Club and Hamilton Parish as they were invited to take part in this?
Extremely excited. I guess they have an opportunity to gauge themselves. One, they'll have an opportunity to engage themselves and participate against teams that they hope to compete against on a weekly basis for the 2022-23 season. So you know, we're excited to see how they feel against it.
And like, were there any other competitions considered as a possible preseason tournament?
So personally, and we haven't discussed this as yet, we're going to take a look at how this tournament unfolds. In my mind, perhaps this could change the format of the Dudley Eve Draw. We've chosen to name this tournament Dudley Eve because I feel it's the right thing to do, even though it doesn't take the Dudley Eve format. So rather than not we make moves to perhaps change the format going forward, we will engage clubs and stakeholders to see.
That's changed over the years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Remember, the Dudley Eve used to take place in a different format of the Christmas period. So
you may have mentioned earlier that the former way the tournament was run was a bit unfair to the other teams in the Premier Division. Wouldn't this be the same case for the teams now in First Division that will not have the same opportunity as two of their opponents will this year?
If you give me a perfect world to live in, I'll happily embrace it. You know, we considered whether or not we should do a similar tournament for the First Division. So you know, we will discuss. It's not going to happen this year. We've looked at the match dates that are available for us potentially, and thought that you know a 3-team tournament could work, and we've drafted the schedule to do so. To introduce additional games at this point of time, First Division teams would perhaps cause a strain on our venues and officials, match officials. So we chose not to do so this year, but we'll have that conversation to see if that's something we can do next year.
And to this point, and to this all teams are registered?
Yes, all teams are registered.
Okay.
It saved me quite a headache because I would have had to redo the schedule. So you will know when you will look at the schedule when it's released. We've used the same schedule as last year with a few tweaks for clubs that have changed term venues. But yes, all teams have registered in the Premier Division. All teams are registered in the First Division with the addition of 2 teams, which is BAA and Patrick.
Okay. So that it has retained.
Patrick has retired.
Are you excited about that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Why?
I mean, just looking at the work pageant neighborhood that embraces perhaps sport. We've had a lot of good footballers come out there, and so to see that club come back online is quite exciting because there's no doubt there's a lot of youngsters in that area that perhaps have dreamed to play for pageant. So we welcome them back. Thank you.